Well, hello and welcome to America, the View from the Top. Well, today you're getting a real treat because now you've got a really hepped-up song to go along with America, the View from the Top. I'm very pleased to have today this special guest. I've been trying to get him here for more than a month, but I have Jimmy Davis, who's running for mayor for Bayonne, and I finally got him here. And Jimmy, thank you so much for coming. I know
no
you're
problem.
pressed for time, but
Yes.
I'm glad you're here because it's really, really important that the city sees you and takes your information and pushes you over that hill because we want you there as a mayor. I do want you there as a mayor. So welcome again.
Thank you, and thank you for having the patience for me to be able to find time in my schedule to get here.
I know how difficult it is when you're busy, but you know, I'd like, first of all, may I call you Jimmy?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. It seems like, you know, a comfortable name to be with. You know, Jimmy's is a name that people can all remember. And I wanted you to tell me a little bit about yourself because everybody that I've talked to about you that knows you from downtown has nothing but accolades of wonderful things from you and your family. Everybody who knows you and your family say you're the best. And so these are good friends of mine, and of course I didn't know that they lived near you, with you, in your own house and everything. And it's a small world because all of a sudden all this information comes out to me, and I thought, wow, gee, it sounds like, you know, he's a very honest person, and I think he'd make a wonderful mayor, and I really, really want to see him make the change because Bayonne needs a change.
Yes, it does.
So tell me now about a little bit about your background so that people can know who you are and your goals. Why did you want to become mayor, first of all, too? So tell me about yourself.
I was born and raised in Bayonne. Lived downtown my whole life. You know, when I was born, we lived on 6th Street.
Right.
Right off of Humphrey Avenue. Then we made the big move. My parents bought a house, and we moved to 4th Street and Trask Avenue. So we did the famous, you know, 1970s Bayonne move where you carried your furniture 2 blocks and brought it to your house. And basically that was it. Played Little League, Pop Warner football, PAL basketball. You know, went to St. Andrews, Bayonne High School, graduated from Bayonne High School in 1981. Went on to St. John's University, did 2 years at St. John's University. Prior to being a Bayonne police officer, I worked on Wall Street for a couple of years, for 4 years, and then became a Bayonne police officer in 1986. Currently, I'm a captain in the Bayonne Police Department. I work midnights in patrol, and it's almost 28 years now that I've been working for the city of Bayonne.
So if you were working last night, you didn't get much sleep to come here today.
I was off last night. We had a fundraiser last night, so yeah,
and I was there.
Took the day off.
I was there at the fundraiser, so that would, excuse me, that was a wonderful get-together. It was a great place to hold it.
Yes, the Knights of Columbus. It's a beautiful place. They did a very nice job.
The food is very good.
Yes,
you know,
yes. Mr. Joskowitz does a great job with his food.
I haven't been there for too many functions, but I know Vince, who's a Knights, loves the place. So he was very happy to come with me last night.
That's good.
Yeah, so we saw firsthand, you know, how the people love you, and I've met all the people that are running on your team, and we've already run all their shows last month. For the month, the whole month, each one had a week of time to talk about 3 times a week. Okay. So I know they know about them, and some have won.
Yes, yeah, Tommy Cotter won the first award very handily. So it's just up to the rest of us to get across that finish line, you know, and take care of this.
So now that you've been working in Bayonne and you've got the feel of the city and the people and you see how the politics go, was that your desire to try to make a change and see if we could make things a little bit better?
When you mean by my desire, I'm sure if you talked to me this time last year, I probably wasn't even thinking of running for mayor.
Exactly.
What had happened was I had a contingent of people from from Bayonne who came to me and, you know, were talking to me about doing this. You know, and they were asking me would I consider it. And then, you know, I had a couple meetings with people, then I went and spoke with others who were involved in politics. A lot of people told me I was out of my mind. I was crazy to even think of it. But the general consensus when I went around was that a lot of the people in town, they wanted a change.
Exactly.
Some people were afraid to come out and say that. Even to this date, there were people who were afraid to come out and use their name and say their name, but they want to change. You know, and I think that was one of the reasons why one of the main reasons why I did this was because nobody should fear their government. You know,
No.
if anything, your government leaders should fear the people.
Exactly, and freedom is the one thing we all enjoy in America.
Yes.
The freedom to have the voice, to be able to speak,
Yes.
express your opinions. Nobody should hold that against you,
No.
and a lot of people do.
Right.
You know, but I think you're very brave and very respectful for the fact that you took the challenge. Because I know it was not an easy thing for you to make that decision. Because I've even been told I should run for office in Maine. And I said, I don't know that I could handle the weight on my shoulders because I know what goes on beyond that. You know,
Yeah.
once you're in office, I just felt that I could work better behind the scenes because I have more freedom
Yes.
to come and go as I please. And so that's the way I prefer to do the politics, is to be somebody
Somewhere behind the scenes.
but I still make my movements and I can still do what I want, and nobody's going to attack me.
Right.
They might, but you know what? I really close the door on those people because you know what? It doesn't matter to me what other people think. I feel that I'm a voice and I have to speak.
Yes.
Just like the voice we're talking about today is your voice, and that's the voice the people need to know.
Yes. It's the running for office. I've never done this before. It's a major stress on your family life and on
Exactly.
your family.
Yes.
And I'm sure if Mark was sitting here with us doing this interview, he'd say the same thing, that it's a very stressful thing. You know, I can handle the stress for myself. I can handle whatever, you know, the everyday runnings of running for office. It's the back stuff that happens, you know, and the stress that it puts on your family, you know, especially your children, your wife, and even my mother, father, and my sister. You know, it's gotten, you know, it gets a little crazy.
family.
Yeah, it affects them heavily, and
they
it's
all have-
something, you know, even with the police department, like, you know, because I'm still working.
Right.
I never wanted the police department to ever get caught in the middle of this, because this is me and Mark, and you know, Mark was a police officer for years, you know,
Right.
and just like I was, and you know, now you almost, it's almost like you have the police department right in the middle of this, which is, you know, the last thing I ever wanted.
Yeah, I
You know, and it's you know, it's tough. It's a hard thing. It's a huge learning experience.
Exactly.
It's not something that I would ever run away from.
Right.
You know, it's not something that I'm going to sit here and say that, you know, I'll never do this again. You know, I can't handle this. Like I said, for me, running. Yeah, no. There's no part of this where I'd say, you know what, I'll never do this again.
Because your heart speaks. You can't help it. When you've got a giving heart and you love the people, you want to see good things happen.
Yes.
And you know, that's something we're not in control of, because when the heart speaks, you go.
Yeah.
You have to do it. It's like if you see somebody drowning and you say, "Do
You're
I
just
swim?"
jumping.
or you know,
Right.
you
Or do
go-
I go for help? Yeah.
No, you're
Yeah.
automatically going to
You're right
go
in
right
water.
in it.
Yeah.
Just remember that you have to know how to swim.
Swim, yeah. And be able to handle the person and get them back in, because they're going to be in a panic.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's what this is about. You know, would I ever run away from it? No, I took this on because I really felt that the city needed a change.
Yes, and I do too. Very much
And
so.
it's you know, and the more I had my first fundraiser, you know, we had our first fundraiser December 4th, and over 215 people showed up. Right then and there, I knew I had something special.
Right.
You know, and then we did a fundraiser every month to try and fund our campaign, and each month it got bigger and bigger and bigger, and I knew at that point that the people now, each time that our numbers grew, I knew more and more people were stepping forward.
And they're excited about you. The people that I know that are for you, it's like an awakening. you know, I see their faces. Their faces are happy, and to me, you know, I think that's something I've never really seen in people running for office, how excited you could be and how enthusiastic you could be trying to make this happen. You know, it takes more than one person. It takes a group.
It takes a team.
Yeah, and you got to be organized.
Yes.
That's the one thing, you know, that people forget, organization.
Yes.
And the right PR people. I know everything you do costs money.
Yes.
There's hardly anything
money.
that happens that is not going to be charged something somewhere. But if people are so willing to volunteer their expertise to really help you, you know, to move forward, that's a plus for you.
Yeah, and that's the one thing with our campaign is the amount of volunteers that came. You could walk into our office every day, and there are people who come in every single day.
Right.
They're doing, you know, computer work. Who's running out, putting up signs, who's you know, doing, you know, absentee ballots, you know, back when it was time, who was out getting people registered, you know, who was setting up for meet and greets, you know, who was going, you know, you had one person who would go and set up for the meet and greet, you'd have someone else that was going around trying to navigate the town and figure out, okay, and go find another place to have a meet and greet. You know, the only thing I asked, you know, from my team in the beginning was, you know, the way we're going to do this, we're coming in on the ground floor. We're not going to have the money to run a full campaign.
No, and a lot of them are not trained either.
Right.
There's going to be mistakes made along the way.
Yeah, anything you do, there's you know, there's you know, bumps in the road. You know, and the best thing you do is you take that bump and all right, you learn from it and you move on. And you know, our goal was to get our team, myself and, you know, all my candidates, to just get in front of as many people as we can. Let them get to know us, let them get to see us.
Right. Exposure
you know, let them ask questions, answer their questions for them, you know, and leave the decision up to them.
Right.
You know, if someone came to me and said, you know what, I'm going to go with this man instead of you, that's fine. That's what this is all about. That's what this process is about.
Now tell me, you know, I go downtown and I see this whole array of empty stores in there. What, as a mayor, is there something you can do to try to change that whole thing?
At this point, no one has a choice but to change it.
It's awful.
I have never seen Broadway
like that. I
like
haven't
it is
either.
now. Part of it, you know, is we need to start getting the community involved.
Right.
Okay, because as citizens of Bayonne, we need to realize that it's up to us to support Bayonne. Exactly. All right, we're not going to get people shopping on Broadway from Staten Island or from Jersey City. It's going to be us, and we have to be able to show that we're willing to support our Broadway. Once we can start supporting our Broadway, we will be able to redevelop it, you know, and bring in stores, because now they'll want to come to Bayonne, you know, but you have to start small, you know, and you have to pick an area, you have to revitalize that area, redevelop that area, make it an area where the people want to come to it. You know,
right in the middle of Broadway.
Right. Well, I would portray.
There can't be no better choice than to fix that hole. I mean, every time I go by there, I mean, I want to cover my eyes.
Yes. Yeah. And it's
an eyesore.
Where are you talking about?
Well,
23rd Street.
Around that, there's 3-4 of them right in a row.
Stores right in a row. Yes. And that area right there, from 24th Street to 22nd Street, which is only 2 blocks on Broadway, but when you encompass Del Monte Drive and Church Lane, it actually becomes 12 blocks. And that area right there, if we can redevelop that area and make it our town center.
Right.
And that's the area where now you can have your festivals, you can have car shows, you know, you can bring in artists who will come in and they can bring their kiosk and they can do different things. On the weekends, close it off to vehicular traffic where it's a pedestrian walk.
Nice.
Now, you know, and you have cultural festivals.
Right.
And once you start doing that, what'll happen is the people of Bayonne will start flocking to that area. And
they want to.
Right. And that's what they're looking for. Yeah. They want their hometown fair back. Okay, they don't want it from 18th Street all the way up to 52nd Street, but they want a hometown fair, and you can do it in that area. Right. And do it with the vendors, do it with the restaurants and the vendors and the stores from the people in Bayonne. You know, this way we keep it you know, to as a true hometown fair.
Well, a lot of people have spent a lot of money fixing a lot of property that they bought and put in businesses in there.
Yes.
Which I think is great, because I live uptown, so I seldom get past maybe 21st Street.
Right.
But sometimes it happens that I do go down there, and I was really shocked to see there's some beautiful places up there.
Yes.
Down there, I should say.
Yeah. Yes.
And I think that's admirable that people are taking that chance and investing that much money to put those new storefronts and to develop their businesses. And it means that the people have hope.
Yes.
That things are going to get better.
Yeah. And that's what you need. You need hope. But besides the hope, someone's got to come in.
Make it happen.
And yeah, you have to come in with a plan, and you have to start implementing the plan. Okay, and I think that's where the difference is, and I think that's what everybody kind of got fed up with waiting for. It's been 6 years, nothing's happened. You know, more and more stores closed down over the 6-year period.
Right.
You know, so where are we going with this? You know?
Well, I don't know. I don't know all the ins and outs of what is supposed to be done in the community, but I'm sure you've got plans for something else you'd like to change around the community, you know.
Well, the biggest thing about the community is to make the city of Bayonne a community again. And
safe.
Yes. And the way you do that is you bring in and you embrace, because everybody in Bayonne now, Bayonne is more diversified today than it's been in its history. And it's time to bring these different cultures in. You know, stop hiding in the corner, come on out. You know, and one of the things I've proposed, where you know, when I talk to the different communities, is that, you know, as mayor, each community will be represented in my office. Right. Where, you know, once a month or twice a month, whichever way we work it out, whichever way we have it, each leader will sit at a table and we will discuss what's going on that month with your, you know, and if there's something going on in the Egyptian community, okay, what is it that the rest of us can do for you? If we have, so to speak, the St. Patrick's Day parade coming up. Well, each community should have something in that parade.
They should.
You know, and then when the Hispanic Day parade comes up, okay, we do the same thing.
Exactly.
Because once you start bringing everybody together, you know, the town becomes better. You know, and I've always said that, you know, if people care about their community, no matter what adversity they're facing, they will change it. You know, and it's up to the people, and that's the message I want to bring to them, is like, I want you involved. I want the communities involved, because it's up to everybody to help me make this change. You know, you can't have one person to come in and just say, all right, this is how we're going to change it. Well, if you force something down someone's throat, you're not going to change anything.
That's right.
You know, but if you bring them in and let them be a part of, you know, what's going on, and let them see what's happening and include them, you know, all the communities will come together. You know, and that's how it was when I was little. We
need a mayor that you can reach out to and find him and touch him, you know, because right now we don't have somebody that really responds to everybody. It's only whatever he feels he wants to do. But I remember when Rukowski was mayor, I had to call for something one day, and he answered the phone, and I was so shocked that he would take the time to do this. And I saw him last night, and I said, I have to thank you after many years that I never got a chance to say thank you, because I was so impressed by the way you were a mayor. You were a kind-hearted mayor. Yeah. And we've had a few others too that I really liked, but him, really shocked about that. And so I'd like to bring that type of person back into that office, where we could touch and feel like you're part of everybody, not just somebody who's in an office, but you're totally untouchable. Right. Well,
Mayor Rukowski is someone that I envy. I thought he was a very good mayor.
He was.
He is somebody, as I've gone along, you know, over the last 6 months that I've been out to, you know, we've been out to breakfast, you know, several times. Right. I've asked him a lot, you know, his opinion, you know, about certain subjects, about different things, about the election. He's given me words of wisdom. You know, which you know, you're new at this. This is something new, and you know, you need somebody that's going to stand behind you and say, hey, listen, this is what you need to do. You know, because if you don't learn from someone, you don't learn. You know, that's why we have teachers, because teachers teach our children. They taught us when we were younger, and that's what it comes down to is, you know, no one person knows everything.
No,
and
but
he was somebody that, you know, I looked up to. I respected him.
Yes,
you know, I was a police officer when he was the mayor, and I had the utmost respect for him. I thought he did a wonderful job as mayor, and I think that the community had a lot of respect for him.
Yeah, well, I think I want to bring back those old days.
Everybody wants to bring back old days, right? Because that makes us younger.
Yeah, no, I just, you know, at this stage of my life, I've been here the better part of my entire life, and you know, I just want to see the things the way they were when I first came in 1960, when Bayonne was really a wonderful community coming out of New England, looking for some place instead of New York City. I found Bayonne was more like the place I wanted to be, and I never left.
Right.
I stayed here forever, and I'm still here. You know, even though I transfer from Maine to here, I do things up there, I do things down here. But my heart is always, if I'm going to be a citizen here, I have to put my 2 cents worth as well, because I can't leave just this to everybody. Because if you want to make a change, you have to step up to the plate too.
Yes, yes. And that's why when I said before that, you know, it's going to be up to the community. I will reach out to the community, you know, because change comes from the community.
Well, that's why I reached out to you, and I said, you need to be here. They need to see your voice. They need to hear you. They need to know the kind of man that's sitting here, a man who's respectable and has character, and he has a heart. He has a heart for this community. Yes. And I know you're going to be able to reach him. When you need something, you'll be able to find him, and you can work together. We can make suggestions on how we can put things together to try to help the community, because it takes a village. It doesn't take just a handful of people sitting up there trying to say, deny, 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 you're not going to get it.
Right.
So why do we bother to go and present what we want if it's not going to make a difference? And I don't want lies. I mean, I remember when Collins was mayor, and I asked him a question, and I said, are you sure you're telling me the truth? Because I know politicians never tell the truth. And wow, we got laughter in that room like you won't believe, because I just said very innocently that I didn't believe politicians ever said the truth. And he says, no, I can guarantee you, if I said it, I'm going to do it. And Collins was a wonderful mayor, too.
Yes, he was a gentleman.
Yes, he was.
He was the epitome of a gentleman. He really was.
So, you know, along the way, you know, I learned to trust some of them. When they tell me they're going to do the truth, and I believe them, and those are the ones I love, and I'll always remember, and I always fight for them, you know? So I'm fighting for you. And I really, you know, you people know me. I'm on the air 11 years, and you've seen me in all kinds of phases, you know? But, you know, when I say something, it's only because I want to bring the truth to you. I don't want to just say words that are empty. I don't do empty words, but from my mouth to God's ears, really, the universe is going to hear what I'm putting out there today. I'm putting this man out there. We need to get him where he has to go. And I believe in miracles, and I believe that God hears every word we say. And if we have a kind heart, and I love to bring religion in this, because I think you have to have faith. Because without faith, you can't accomplish anything.
Right.
And I've seen too many things, wonderful things happen in my life, only because I was persevering and I had the faith, and I just believe. Right. And you know what? It happened.
Yeah.
So I believe.
It's almost like you willed it to happen.
I do. You have to have that heart. So you know, I just want to say I will pray for you, continuously to get you over that hill, and whatever, you know, you're going to be doing for the community, I'm sure it's in God's plans that we're going to have a better community. We're going to have better people serving us. And what's the last word you want to say? Because we're already out of time.
I'll just go back to what you said in the beginning, that you have said that you have, you know, spoke to people who know me, and they said, you know, they gave you their opinion of me, and
very positive,
you know,
and very loving.
One of the greatest compliments I think I've ever been, you know, someone has ever said about me is when I met my father's friends. that he worked with at Best Foods for like 40 years at my father's retirement party, and I got to know them over the years. You know, as I got older,
Right.
you know, you could go to the local pub and you know, there'd be, you know, a guy that worked, you know, gentleman that worked with my father, whatever, and we got to know each other. You know, maybe on a regular basis we would see each other, and
Right.
and two of his closest friends, you know, they looked at me one day and they said, "You are a spitting image of your dad." And I was like, wow, that's the greatest compliment I've ever been given.
Yes.
And I am. My father, the way I am is how my father was, and I don't change. I went from being a patrolman to a captain. You could talk to anybody in the police department, and I've treated everybody the same. Nothing has gone to my head. I've never changed. And I'm not going to change. You know, what you see is what you're going to have.
Yep.
And when I say something, I mean it. And again, we will get it done one way or another. But it's going to be up to the community to help get this done.
Well, the community is going to have to give you that respect and time to work with you too, because
Yes.
I know you can't expect somebody who's still walking and still has to grow. He can't
Right.
expect to know everything, because nobody knows everything.
No.
Even at my age, I learn every day things that I never encompassed. Today we had a little bit of a problem. I forgot my other tape, and I had to use different music. But you know what? I improvise. I mean, it's a little bit more hip today, so we have a hip mayor. And so, but you still have my format, America, the View from the Top, comes from 9/11, and that touched my heart, and that's what it is. It's all about 9/11, becoming a voice, and talking to the people. And the American flag is my biggest thing. I'm an American. I love my country. I want my country to be #1, and I want my community to be #1. You know, and you're going to make that community #1. Because I'm going to be standing there telling you, hey, you know,
That's going to be the choice of the people at this point.
I think we need to do this, this, and that. Not that you have to listen to everything I tell you, but you know what? At my age, I'm older than you.
Yes.
So I'm wise. Because I've walked it, I've done it, I've lived it.
Yes.
And that's the best thing I could give anybody for the younger generation. You can never be wise and young, because you have to live
Learn.
it.
And you have to learn.
You have to earn it.
Yes.
It's true. So I'm proud of what I've accomplished and I've done in my life. Never knew I was going to be doing things like this. Never knew I was going to become a voice and not be afraid to talk on television.
Yes.
Be thousands of people. East Coast, Northern Maine. It's
Right.
all there. So now I'm going to shake your hand.
Thank you very much for having me.
And well, listen,
pleasure.
I'm happy you found
Yes.
with me,
And I apologize that it took. Yes. I
no,
apologize that it took so
to
long.
your other people today that I'm holding you back on the meeting, but please, it's important that I put them on the air next week. So starting Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday, you're going to be on the air, and hopefully people are going to see what they didn't see before, because you can't be everywhere.
Yes.
But this is something you can do. So thank you again. Please don't forget to watch the shows on Sundays at 8 o'clock, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 o'clock, and listen to Jimmy Davis, who's running for mayor of Bayonne, and I only do things that I want you to know they're from the heart, and I believe in this man, and please come out and vote. June 10th.
June 10th. Tuesday,
June 10th, right. Let's vote and let's get them over the hill, because we have to get this done. This is the beginning of a new year for Bayonne.
A new era.
Yes, it is. So thank you again. We're finished.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Well, listen.
How'd that go? Good.
It did.